Hi everybody, my name is Sheila Patterson. I just want to give you a brief testimony about coming out of New Age. I grew up in church and then turned away for nearly 20 years and got into very heavy into the New Age, into a lot of alternative healing things, a lot of the Reiki, crystals, just a lot of the New Age beliefs. And all during that time, I was seeking for more. Was in a very hurt place, looking for answers. And the deeper that I got into New Age, the more it drew me in. The deeper I got. There was a hole in me, and I was searching and I was looking, and the Christian church just didn't do that for me. It just didn't give me what I needed. There was no power in what I knew and the teachings that I had. Of course, I didn't get into the Bible myself. I couldn't understand it at that time. Long story short, after almost 20 years in the New Age, I just was not happy. I could not get a grip on my life. My life was not good. It was not good. Cried out to the Lord, or cried out to God. I cried out to God and I said, if you're real, there has to be more to life than the way that I'm living it. I did a lot of things I'm ashamed of, and I won't even go into that right now. But I knew that there had to be more than the way that I was living life. The way I was living life was whatever I wanted to do, I did it, and that wasn't satisfying me. I knew there had to be more. So I cried out to God and I said, if you're real, there has to be more to life than the way that I'm living it. And that was a turning point for me. That day, the manifest presence of Jesus showed up. And it was a process coming out of what I came out of. It took months. There was lots of torment. The things that were attached to me did not want to let go. For those of you that are deeply involved, you know what I mean. And it was a process. I prayed about what church I should go to, and found a church, and I'm sad to say that I was not received well at the church. They didn't want me there. But you know, the word says that God will take all things and use them and make them for our good. He will use them for our good. And so when I would leave the church feeling rejected and like they didn't want me there, I would come home and I would cry out to God, and I said, God, they don't want me there. And I could just feel Him wrap His arms around me and say, I know, baby girl. But He put something in me to get into the Word, and at first it was hard. It was difficult to get into the Word. I got sleepy. Mostly I got sleepy. Every time I tried to get into the Word, I would get sleepy and just couldn't do it. But I just kept pressing in. I just kept pressing in. I just kept doing it. Just kept crying out to God. And He showed up. Showed me things in Scripture. My eyes were opened. The things that I thought were angels and angelic beings, He opened my eyes and I could see that they were not. And He opened my eyes to be able to see truth. And when I read the Bible, things just jumped out at me. And He would just speak to me through the Word. And He would visit me in dreams. And just, I could feel his manifest presence with me, just encouraging me, strengthening me. And I just spent years, had spent years in the New Age, and like I said, it took months. It took months to overcome some things, and really years now. It's been about 8 years since I've been out of it, and of course there are still things I need healing from. But boy, God is faithful. He loves people. He loves worshipers. I was a worshiper. I was just worshiping the wrong things. And I used worship as, it was warfare for me. And I can remember being in my living room just worshiping the Lord. Just worshiping the Lord. And I remember thinking, I need to do something. I need to get in the Word. I need to stop this worshiping, because I would spend hours worshiping. I need to just stop doing this, and I need to get in the Word. I need to be doing something. And I can remember him speaking to me saying, you're doing what you need to do. And I just remember the love that he just poured out to me. And I just want to encourage you, if you have people that are in the New Age, or into other religions, false religions, that you would pray for them. Pray for their eyes to be open to see truth, and their ears to be open to hear it, and that God would prepare their hearts. And I just also would ask that you would pray that God would put people in their lives that are not afraid of them, that are not afraid of their past, not afraid of all of the things that go along with coming out of that, that would minister to them. And just pray for healing for them. They can come out of it and be radically changed and lovers of Jesus. And I just ask that if you have family members, if you have people in your life that you know are not saved, and I probably would have told you I was saved. My version of Jesus was a different Jesus. It was more the universal Jesus, and the one that Oprah promotes, which is, you know, everybody has their own path and own way of obtaining God, which I have since learned is not true. There's only one way to God, and that's through Jesus, his son. And I just ask that you would pray for people, their eyes, again, really their eyes to be open to see truth, and their ears to be open to hear it, and that God would prepare their hearts, and that God would just place people in their lives that would love on them and speak to them and just be available. I plan to do another one of these, go more in depth, but I just felt a need to say this much. I meet people all the time that are involved, and I want to say to them that you may not know what you're getting into. It goes way deeper, and we fight not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers of darkness. And when you are in the New Age, you definitely have opened yourself up to those kinds of things, the powers of darkness, and they may be disguised as light. And that's why I'm saying pray for their eyes to be open to see the truth, and their ears to be open to hear it. Because I was deceived, and what I saw wasn't anything dark, but it was, until God opened my eyes. I cried out to him, and he opened up my eyes. Just pray also that people would come to themselves, and that they would want to know who Jesus is. I thank you for listening. Have a great day.